Welcome back to Block TV, time for cryptonomics. And of course today, dealing with that price, that 10,000, almost 10,000. And no better man, expert, aficionado to speak with than Matty Greenspan, who joins us now. Matty Greenspan, founder of Quantum Economics, one of the leading voices in the sphere. Matty, hello to you.
What's up, Yael?
I'm well. First of all, let's touch on the price. As we begin, needless to say, we've touched the 10,000. That was a big breaking news day for all of us here. We are now hovering, obviously, somewhere around the 9,800. And let's start with this, first of all. This golden moment, what do you think of the price? And do you share the same opinion of some other analysts we've spoken with who think that we are still going up and we're going to cross that mark in the coming days?
Yeah, so we're definitely on a strong upward trajectory. Since January 3rd, the U.S. airstrike on Iran, right around this region, we've been in a strong upward trajectory, a strong upward trend.
Right.
I was actually quite, I was, though I was touting it and though I was pushing it on Twitter, the 10K mark, I was quite surprised when it actually broke that quickly, because the normal reaction from the market would have been to come down and test these lower levels of the channel before pushing on forward, but it looks like we did have that breakout. Obviously that wasn't sustainable. We tested 10K as a support once and then it fell through on the second time. As far as looking at the trend, however, we can see that we are well above that blue line, which is the 200-day moving average, and we all know the 200-day moving average is basically one of the leading indicators for gauging Bitcoin's trend. Here's the 2017 bull run, and then 2018 it acted as a resistance point that kept it in the bear market, and we've punctured that a few weeks ago, right. January 28th. We've tested it kind of as a support, and we are well above it now. And we're looking at the 50-day moving average. As soon as that 50-day moving average, the orange line crosses the blue line, that's what we have. That's what we call a golden cross, and that's a very bullish sign. And even if prices stay where they are right now, we could hit that this week.
You think that we might hit that this week? I want to talk about apropos next, what? Yeah. Wow. Well, first of all, wow to that. I want
Depending on what happens with the price, right?
Depending on what happens with the price, exactly. But I wanna ask you, because not only online have you written in your blog, but also, needless to say, we always wonder what's driving it. You and I are taping this on a Tuesday of the second week of February. The coronavirus has been in the news for the past nearly a month. Needless to say, already taken the lives of over 900 people. That's a terrible number. Infected over 40,000. Yeah, 40,000 world round. The dollar remains strong in an odd way. It's hitting some Asian markets, and Bitcoin is battling 10,000. That's a headline from FX Street. Do you think that the coronavirus, because nobody can pinpoint exactly, do you think that those fears are driving this price, the Bitcoin price? No. Why?
Absolutely not. No, it has nothing to do with it. The coronavirus isn't even affecting the stock markets, if you'll pay attention. I agree. The Chinese market opened with a gap down after the Lunar New Year, the extended Lunar New Year. There was a big gap down, but stocks elsewhere don't even seem to be affected by this whatsoever, and the reason is that people feel. I don't know if this is a correct assumption or not. My thinking is that it's an incorrect assumption. But the assumption of investors at the moment is that any gaps in production can be easily covered by the injection of free money by the world's central bank. So the People's Bank of China has already injected some $170 billion into their economy. The Fed has recently resumed their quantitative easing. So has the European Central Bank. So we're very much in an environment of money being pushed on the market, free money with low interest rates, which is why the stock market has been going completely bonkers off the wall, if you've seen with stocks like Tesla lately.
Tesla is, apropos $1 million question, Tesla is, is operating like the new Bitcoin in some ways. But yes, entirely.
And Teslas and Bitcoins.
Exactly. Well, now we know that that a Tesla can run a Bitcoin node, then we have the perfect connection. But that said, it's interesting that you're saying that because
You hear that, Elon?
I know. Hello. That said, we are seeing this bullish. And what do you think is driving this this run? And do you think we're entering also alt season because they're doing great?
Yeah, definitely, and definitely. So this is my kind of assessment from the beginning that all of that free money that's being introduced into the market, some of this is actually ending up into the crypto market as well. The evidence of that is that it's alt season at the moment, that altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin on a consistent day-to-day basis, pretty much since the beginning of the year. There was that moment on January 3rd when the US airstrike happened, when the market realized that Bitcoin could potentially be used as a safe haven from geopolitical events. But pretty much since then, we've been looking at a very risk-on market. Altcoins outperforming means that investors are looking to take risk. It's actually the opposite of safe haven trading.
The opposite of safe haven trading, and that said, it kind of negates. Well, yeah, it negates the headline that came out of a very, very special dinner that was finally held in Omaha between Justin Sun and the Oracle from Omaha.
Oh my God.
I don't know. We're touching on that. Where apparently, some quotes that came out of that dinner is Warren Buffett saying that his problem with Bitcoin is, and I'm ad-libbing this right now, that his problem with Bitcoin is that it is an asset motivated by fear, and that's not something he believes can succeed. What would you have said to him if you were in that room?
On the contrary, Bitcoin is an asset motivated by freedom. It wasn't created as a vehicle for fear. It was created as an alternative to a system which is only working for the people at the top. So, I mean, I don't know that there is anything that we can really say to convince Mr. Buffett, because he is the one sitting at the top at the moment.
Yeah, no. Entirely true. Now, Bitcoin's direction after hitting $10,000, as you said, that you think it's going up even more this week. There was some.
I ain't say that.
You didn't say that. Sorry, that it might.
I said the trajectory is upward.
The trajectory. You're totally right.
Yes.
You're totally right.
I'm not predicting the future.
Not predicting anything. When people are predicting within the sphere things like, hitting the 100,000 mark sometime this year or sometime by the end of next year, you think that that's still a viable, not on your part, a viable prediction on their part?
I believe that anything is possible. I think it would be, I don't know. I wouldn't really want to see the scenario that would bring us to 100K this year. It would probably mean that something is very wrong with the world. If Bitcoin would be just all of a sudden jumping, 10x in this,
right.
In just this year, I think, and I wouldn't. And as we've seen with Bitcoin before, whenever it does do a 10x run, it usually retraces most of that. So I personally would much rather see steady inclines that are less speculative and less volatile. But obviously, anything is possible.
Anything is possible. Anything is possible, just like Justin Sun and Warren Buffett. Meaning that said, if you're part of the sphere, you couldn't have missed the trolling by Peter McCormack. I want to play a bit of a video that's running online. Just have your take on it and what it possibly does to the sphere. This is what Peter McCormack posted, because there's this big Satoshi roundtable going on right now. You and I weren't invited. That said, here's a clip that we got out of it.
Buy my shitcoin.
Is Tron a valid coin or a shitcoin?
Shitcoin.
Why is it a shitcoin?
Buy feel more legit than Ethereum. I don't know why.
But it's a shitcoin.
I agree. Buy his shitcoin.
Buy his shitcoin.
Buy it immediately.
Yeah, buy his shitcoin. Why should they buy their shitcoin?
Because it is Ethereum killer.
I'm going to use your gesture. But I don't know, Marty. What do you think? What do you think of the whole trolling of Peter McCormack and Justin and whatnot? What does it do to us?
Nothing.
Okay.
It's silliness. I don't know. Justin's son is obviously a very he's very good at what he does, and what he does is marketing, and he knows, just like Donald Trump knows, that there is no such thing as bad press. Long as you're in the media, as long as people are watching you and they're captivated, you're in a good position. And this is exactly what he's done. He has inadvertently gotten all of the Bitcoin maximalists to share his video and promote his message of buy my shitcoin.
Yeah,
So-
no, that's I cannot argue with that, Matti. He has gotten all of us to touch on that. You're completely right. Matti Greenspan, I want to tell you, first of all, pleasure to speak to you as always. As we said at the time of this taping, we're still hovering below the $10,000 mark, but it's always such a treat to hear your take on this. Thank you. We were BLOCKTV. We'll be back.
For more news and updates, follow us on Twitter.